Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Motivation is Everything. Please do leave a comment, subscribe, and leave a like over there. If you have any questions or you have anything to talk to me about, feel free to leave it as a comment. I will always respond to your comments. Today I just want to talk to us about surviving in between. One of the things that I find is that a lot of books are written about how do you achieve your goals, how do you achieve this, but very few actually talk about helping you survive between starting your journey and actually arriving at your destination. Because within every one of us is that drive to succeed. Within every one of us is burnt into our DNA to achieve something of repute. For some people, they're quite aggressive about this, for others less so. But one thing is quite clear for everyone is that while others struggle to get to their final destination, a few people are able to do it. And that's because they have understood how to survive in between starting something and actually finishing it. Because very few people actually think about this. Very few books actually speak about how do you survive the process in between. Because almost everyone that starts something has to grapple with the process. And one of the things that I've found from those who have got to the finish line is that they're able to start with the finish in mind. If you're going to finish, you're going to have to keep the finish line in your mind right through the process. You're going to have to understand that you're within a process that leads you to a destination, which is your goal. You're going to have to understand you are in a journey to a destination, and therefore there are things that are going to happen that will lead you to that destination. There are going to be things, so you're going to have that understanding that you're in a process which leads to a finished product. Almost every process is not nice. In fact, the more finished the product, the harder the process. The more beautiful the destination, the harder the journey is. And the journey and the process reveals the innermost parts of you. It brings you face to face with your strengths and your weaknesses. It provides you with that experience to grow. And there are those who are not quite sure of what their goals are. There are those who are still wondering. Now, there are those who know what their goals are on that journey, and I am about to speak to them about that. That if you're on that journey, you have to embrace the process. You have to embrace this journey. Because along this journey, you would find that you're on the journey to the finished product. You know, there's a saying that says many will start but only few will finish. Only few will finish because others cannot keep the future in mind. They cannot keep the finish line in mind, because only those who can finish, only those who are able to feel the finish right through the journey finish. You have to be finished focused. You have to keep your focus on the finish. See, one of the biggest issues of every journey is that as you travel, as you move, you have to deal with baggages. The process brings you face to face with the baggages you carry and challenges you to let go of them. There are thousands of athletes that never made it to the top of their career. There are thousands of musicians, there are thousands of entrepreneurs, there are thousands of businessmen who just never got to the top. because they could not leave the baggages, the habits, the insecurities, the people, the cycles along the way. You see, if you're going to make it to the end, you're going to have to be willing to let go of those habits. Whether it's laziness or sleeping in the middle of the day or procrastinating or staying in social circles that have no alignment with your focus, you're going to have to be willing to let go of those. See, if your environment does not support your upward trajectory, it's time to leave it behind. Just like a baggage can hinder a journey, the baggages within your journey can hold you back. See, all these baggages can stop you dead on your track. You will start alright, but the baggages will keep you back. Your baggages could be excuses, your baggages could be procrastination, your baggages could be time wasting, it could be delaying, it could be dilly-dallying, it could be anything. They would hold you back from your destination. So you have to be willing to let go of them. In fact, you have to be willing to go alone. There's a reason why they say the higher you go, the cooler it becomes, because literally you would literally be willing and should be willing to go alone. You should be willing to make that journey, if it comes to it, on your own. Now I have this saying that if you want to go higher, get ready for frostbite, because bits are gonna come out of you. There are things that are gonna fall off you that you do not need. You're gonna lose things in the process that you do not need. By virtue of my career as a scientist, get to study extractions of metals, and you see that the metal has to go through fire to be purified, and things fall off it. And that's the process. Things will fall off you as you go through it. Stay in the process, because what comes out of the process is the victory. It's much better than what went into it. Wills Reed of the New York Knicks in 1970 of the NBA Finals taught us a lesson that showed us what the process is all about. In game 5, he tore his tie and he played through that and they won, which set up game 6. But because he was injured, he missed game 6, and the LA Lakers won game 6, setting up game 7, a winner takes all. So we had Wills Reed, knowing that he could sit this one out because he was injured, and everyone was asking, will he, won't he, will he, won't he? And Wills Reed knew there was only one thing to do. He was going to play hurt. And he played through the pain and dragged his team to a victory. You know, oftentimes within the process you're going to be bruised. You're going to suffer loss. You're going to suffer injuries. But play through the process. Play through the pain. You're going to face betrayals. You're going to lose people. You're going to lose things. You're going to lose things that you thought you really need. Loyal people, moral. Play through the process. Play through the pain. You must learn within the process to play through the pain. Because the process is a painful process. And you must learn to play through that pain. Finally, if you're going to survive that in between, you're going to learn to tell your story. You know, most times we wonder why we've got lots of meetup groups. It's not just about the networking. Because those who set up meetup groups, they set them up and they go in and you got lots of people speaking there about their journey. See, what they're speaking about is not necessarily just about their journey. They're speaking to themselves and they're telling themselves, we've come thus far and we are going somewhere. See, if you're going to survive the process, you're going to have to tell your story. You're going to have to speak up. You're going to have to speak. You're going to have to gather a cycle of friends. And if you don't have a cycle of friends, invest in a good mirror. You're going to have to speak to that mirror and say, I am not where I want to be, but I sure I'm not where I used to be. I am making progress. I am moving forward. I am moving forward. You're gonna have to do that to survive the process. And finally, as I close, if you're going to survive the process, you're gonna have to start with the end in mind. You're gonna be finished focused. You're gonna have to accept the process. You're gonna have to be willing to leave baggages behind. You're gonna have to be willing to play wounded. You're gonna have to always tell your story. Thank you for listening to me. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment below. Thank you.